BBB, Beginner's Business Bloopers. Yeah, you hadn't heard from me in a while, but today we're going to talk about automobiles, transportation. We're going to talk about a little about that because I've mentioned about about applying for different gas stations to acquire for your business under fleet. But this is a little bit more dedicated. A lot of time business owners have used their vehicle as their personal vehicle while they're doing business, and they use their personal vehicle more than they do personal. Believe it or not, I've been a victim of this, but sometimes it's just lack of knowledge, sometimes it's just lack of laziness to get a quote. Why not get a quote from your local insurance that deals with commercial insurance, that deals with commercial vehicle insurance? I'm going to talk about Progressive. In other insurance companies I have used before, I'm going to talk about Progressive now. And even though I have a business van for my personal service, and we do a lot of back and forth going to supply stores, deliveries and stuff like that, or just taking care of business for the business more than our personal. And the vehicle is majority at the business majority of the time because we're working. I know a lot of you all do that. You can raise your hand or holler, yeah, that's me. Well, I decided to get that quote. And I'm going to give you a comparison. And I'm going to deal with whether if you have bad credit or whether you have good credit. It doesn't make a difference. The switch is worth it. It doesn't make a difference if you have a record on thing that happens with your driver's record. If you have certain type of accidents, it may heighten your insurance just like anything else. And if you're suffering with more than one car accident, and whether you're at fault or whatever the case may be, and you're on that personal side, your insurance is probably ranging, depending on the type of vehicle you have, it can range anywhere from $300 to $400 or more, depending on what type of vehicle you own or you lease, even if you're leasing a vehicle. Now, the thing about it is, even if you didn't turn back around and purchase your vehicle under your business, this next time, put forth the effort to apply for your business under the LLC for its transportation, like purchasing a vehicle. And we just strictly talking about commercial automobile insurance. I can tell you that a lot of you have probably made this error and not even realize the betterment in financial relief that you'll get. Now, I'm going to use this Progressive as an example, and I'm sure there's other products out there dealing with commercial vehicles that's probably even lower. I was originally paying $378 per month on a van, a commercial van. Never did think about it, never did take time to even think about it. But I did apply for all the fleets, gas station card for credit to help build your business credit, which you can do. So keep in mind that when you're applying for Exxon, Mobil, whatever gas station it is that you may be servicing, apply for the commercial side for your business vehicle. It'll help establish and build your credit for your business. Now, and they usually do 30 net. Some may do 60, 90, but most of them do 30 net, paying 30 days. Oh, and they allow you under those gas cards to have your employees under there, so you'll know keep track of the miles and so forth when they pump. Because when you go to the pump, usually if you have a commercial gas card, it's going to ask you to enter the beginning miles and the end miles. They have a great system, majority of the companies out gas stations that's out here. But let me get back to Progressive Insurance. Well, leaving $378, and now it's time to reinstate. And I didn't think, because I have another employee that's on the insurance with me. And I never did get to tell him, wait, before you reinstate, I'm going to switch over to commercial. So what happened is I ended up canceling out the individual insurance, automotive insurance, that I would have been paying $404 a month without having it automatically draft out of my checking account. Of course, everybody knows there's a twist in between when you pay by credit and debit card or cash, and you don't have set up for their automatic payment. There's a little bit more cost compared to that. They may reduce anywhere from $5 to $20 down on your insurance when you do automatic withdrawals. But anyway, let me get back to the point. And so I said, I'm going to call him. I just kept on prolonging it. Then all of a sudden I decided, let me go on and get this behind me. I had them to refund the rest of the portion of my individual side of my insurance, because those are two different entities dealing with your commercial side and your individual side. So they're going to refund that back to the credit card, okay? But the meantime, I had to pay a $400 deposit down. So you imagine a $400 deposit, and right now I'm paying less. I'm paying like $178 a month for vehicle insurance on the commercial side, where I've been paying $300. I would have been paying $404 this month for the next 9 months. So that's a big break. That extra money that I lost could have been applied to my savings account if I would have known before. We could have stopped wasting money. So when you out here using your vehicles, make sure you go in and switch to the commercial side of the vehicle. Even if you have not purchased it under the car dealership as a commercial, but if you know that you're using your vehicle more than 50% of the time for business, or 75% of the time, then you want to make sure that you go on and switch over to the commercial side. Now, believe it or not, you say $178. Well, what is the difference? So my thing is, I was able to keep the same policy that I had, because I had I invested in on the individual. I invested in the van, even though we're using for the business side. I invested in the van, and we have a wrap on it. That's for advertisement, but that's not the bulk of the issue. But what I want you to understand, I still was able to keep my gap insurance on the vehicle, as well as the same policies. And the reason why I'm going to mention gaps, if something happened to your vehicle, if you buy it from a car dealership and they connected me, basically told me, well, since you're with us, we have this insurance. So Progressive was the company that they were promoting for anyone that was purchasing their vehicles. And so that helped, like, a little bit discount on your insurance when companies are partnering together. So, but the main thing is understanding that reason I got gap is because past experiences, when you make hiccups, you learn and do things smarter. If you ever get in a major car wreck and you do not have enough coverage and you have an upside down, you can sometimes get holding the bag of the risk buck of the money and still not be in the vehicle. So what GAP does, it protects your vehicle no matter how much the cost is. The insurance pays out, whether if you're in a car accident or it was total out or hazard, whatever the case may be. It steps in and takes care of the remaining balance, so you won't get stuck with the remaining balance of the bag. That is the importance of GAP insurance. It's so worth paying. So I was able to transfer the whole original policy over to the commercial side, and that was the most great thing. But one thing I did do is I eliminated the rental car. Reason being is I have other perks deal with rent a car that's personal, but I had to realize that $40 is not going to even touch on a day-to-day card. The economy is crazy. So maybe 10 years ago, $40 a day, if something happened in your vehicle and you had a major car wreck or a storm tore up your car, a natural disaster, you would be able to get in rent a car without out-of-pocket expenses. But if you really think about it, me keeping $40, paying $40 for rent a car. But guess what? You got to think smart. If rent a cars, you can't even get an economy car for $50 anymore. You still would have been stuck with paying $10 more. But there's no rent a car these days in 2022. What it is that you're paying over $100 just to get in a basic car. Yes, rental cars are on the rise for purchasing them. It's either you got to catch a deal, so you very seldom see vehicles for $9.99 for the weekend. But if you're needing a vehicle and your car is totaled, or even if you just need to go out of town for transportation, rental car companies are making bukus of money. And to have it on your insurance policy and it's only $40, it's not even touching buck. And they probably max out like $1,200 a year for rental car expenses on your commercial or residential insurance. So I had to think, what is the significance of it if I'm going to pay more out of pocket anyway, and I can use other perks for other products that I have perks with for rental cars. So I removed the rental car insurance because I know that when I'm renting a car, regardless if it's from a secondary sister company or a third generation company, it doesn't make a difference what rental car service it is coming. They're asking for double or triple the amount of the cost of the vehicle. And even if you're using a credit card, most of them want you to put a $300 deposit down. And the vehicle may only cost $100 for three or 4 days. So realistically, doing $40 a day is not even cutting the mustard because you can still be out of pocket. So I had to make the business decision is that I spend anyway. And when I do use a rental car, I always use a Capital One card or some type of card that covers rental car expenses in case something happens. The thing about rental cars dealing with is that's just additional product that you may want to include on your insurance company for your vehicle. But how many times are you going to get in a wreck? Most likely you're trying to stay away from you having a wreck. So the what if, so even if I did accept the $40, it still wouldn't cut the mustard. The only thing is that if you have certain companies, they may offer a deal or package, say, well, if you have their insurance, they may ask you to say, hey, you just have to pay $50 down on holding the vehicle, but the rental car company may have another requirement for you. Or even if the rental car has a deal with the insurance company, you still have to pay $10 or more because the economy is going up. And insurance is not the same, as well as rental cars are not the same anymore. You can't go and get a $30 a day vehicle or $40 a day vehicle. That's just realistic. So I had to make the wisest decision. I can drop that because if something happened to the vehicle, I still would have to pay out of pocket. That's something that extra expense that you need to have on hand anyway. It's no different than you have to have you're part of the premium if something to happen. So those are just extra expenses. Unless you in the wreck and you're not at fault and you just hopefully someone that hits you have insurance and they insurance pick up the tab. But it doesn't make a difference what decisions you made. But I just decided that was an unnecessary $40 a month insurance. It was costing too much for that to hit, so it knocked my insurance rates a little bit down. And so I took the wisest method and say, hey, what is most likely to happen to the vehicle? Flats, running out of gas. So that's what I chose. I chose the services, the roadside assistance, and it was nothing but $35. So, and that's not bad, $35 out of a year. I said, oh, that's not going to hit the insurance. So I dropped one and added that, something that was going to be beneficial. If the car broke down, Whether if I was in a car wreck, or whether if it broke down and I was away, or whether if I had a flat tire or ran out of gas, or anything that was relating to a natural disaster. At least I can call the roadside assistance, and they will be able to put my vehicle in a safe mechanical shop or at a location that I deem that was good enough for what I'm going to do. So, in actuality, that's a decision I made, that commercial should have been always my first option, since we use the vehicle at all times. This is just a tip that I notice a lot of drivers do. They have a business and they use their vehicle to go pick up products. They use the vehicle more than 75% of the time than they do personal, and they're still paying residential. Now, I will say that based on your credit, based on your driving record, that sometimes play a part on how much you pay, as well as the company that you do use. So whatever insurance your company, my advice is to do a search to different insurance companies that are dealing with commercial. Don't just drop it because I'm saying Progressive. It's just that I've been using it ever since I purchased the vehicle, and it was a part of one of the options I had because the company I purchased the vehicle from. And it's a pretty good insurance because it has a lot of other perks it does. They have insurance for all levels. They even have for classic vehicles. So you never know. So I have 2 classic vehicles that I have insurance under. Then you have your house insurance. So you want to be invested in insurance where you can get multiple discounts on your vehicle. You definitely want to do that. So when you think about it, you think about how is it beneficial for my house, for my business. Is this an insurance company that's going to be a plus to my business and help reduce? And then you have to think about your miles on your vehicle. So don't forget the IRS. So those are write-offs that you can definitely get based on your vehicle use of your vehicle. You have to think about how it's going to be best benefit for your business. Of course, don't do it if you know that you're not traveling, because the IRS is a stickler about how you use and apply your deduction. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure it adds up. Make sure you're doing what you said that you was going to do with the vehicle. Don't lie and say, hey, I'm using it for my business, and you know you're not doing that. I'm talking about people that are actually out here grinding hard for their business to be successful. So hopefully you enjoyed this little small segment. And thanks for listening for Beginner's Business Bloopers. BBB. See you next time.